The following program is an FGF production.
Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, "Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant."
How you doing to my subscribers? I'm a little bored. It's about 10 o'clock at night, and I had a long day today. But I'm not really tired. And tomorrow I have to see the heart doctor to get my annual checkup. I'm not really looking forward to it, but it's good that you do that because, God forbid, I've had so many EKGs. I've had so much blood work done in the last 5 years that it's ridiculous. I've been pricked and pinched 1,000 times. My last blood work was this last past Thanksgiving. I was in the hospital with depression and anxiety. Uh, wasn't a nice place to be, but I really didn't get the help. It was all about getting on the right medication and everything. They finally got me on the right medication. I wouldn't wish depression on my worst enemy. I've been through so much physical pain through the years and so many traumatic surgeries, and I would say being depressed was worse than all the surgeries that I went through. It's very hard to explain it. It's an absolute nightmare. You just, if anybody's experienced it, it's a nightmare. But they have me on the right medication. In fact, tomorrow is my meeting with the psychiatrist to talk how I'm doing and everything. I talk to him once a month, so that's tomorrow morning. And then I got the heart doctor, I think at 2:30. So I'm not concerned if anything's wrong with me. Like I said, I've had a million EKGs. I was in, they gave me so many tests when I was in the hospital on Thanksgiving. I was in there for a week. The week of Thanksgiving, I believe. I think I went in on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was Thanksgiving. Friday, I think I came home Friday. I came home the day after Thanksgiving. And I felt so bad to be in there because I didn't have Thanksgiving with my family. My son, he's 13 and 12 at the time, and I had to explain to him what I'm going through because they do see it. And when you're depressed, they get depressed. They feed off of you. You know what I mean? Now he's happy. He's back to himself. I'm back to myself. I'm really loving this YouTube stuff and everything. It's really cool. It's a good way to get things out there. I want to share a story tonight about, like I said, I met so many celebrities in my lifetime. Working in the city for years, and I lived in the city for 2 years. I lived on 42nd Street and 11th Avenue, called River Place 1. Now I think they got River Place 2 and River Place 3 now. It was a beautiful building. What I did was, when I turned 40, I said, instead of having a 40th birthday party, I said, you know what, I'm tired of commuting from New Jersey to New York on a bus all the time. I got sick of it. Let me move to the city where I can walk to work. Unfortunately, I never got a job close enough to walk to. A couple of jobs, but not really. In fact, the first job I went to, believe it or not, was Staten Island. You can't fucking make it up. So there I am living in Manhattan, and now I'm going to fucking Staten Island. When I lived in Jersey, it was fucking 30 minutes away. I'm like, geez, nothing ever. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, right? Well, anyway, I want to share a story about, a little chilly tonight. I want to share a story about, has to do with The Sopranos. I met James Gandolfini, of all people. This is a funny story. I think I've shared it on a few shows back in the day, but I figure I'd go into it more detailed here for anybody new to my subscribers who would like to hear about it. It's a pretty amazing story. What happened was I lived in the city 2008. I moved there March 15, 2008. I remember I'm very good with dates. I don't know what it is. I have like some kind of like, I'm not autistic or something, but I can remember dates of things that happened that even my parent, my mom, my sister, even my son's like, how do you know the date? Like, it's weird. I can remember dates. So it was a Saturday, March 15, 2008, my first day I moved into the city. My best friend helped me move in there. And I was so excited that day. It was one of the great days of my life. And I lived in New York City at River Place from March 15, 2008 to December of 2010. I moved back to Jersey because that's a whole other story of how I will share that story one day, how I met my son's mother. That's a very interesting story. How, how life can just, out of nowhere, it's crazy. Well, anyway, it's Christmas time, 2009. What happened was my friend that helped me move me to the city the prior March of 8, he came in with his wife, and I showed him around the city, and we went to go see the tree. But that particular day, I came down with something. I was very, very sick. I couldn't breathe. I was nauseous. My nose, I was dizzy. I was coming down with something. And so I went with them to see the tree and everything. And after about a half hour, 40 minutes, I felt bad. I was like, listen, I know you guys came in to see me and everything, and I'm sure you can go on and do other things. My friend knew how to get around. We've been there before. I apologize. I'm not feeling well. I'm not myself. I just want to go home and lay down. They're like, yeah, no problem and everything. So I walk from the tree in Rockefeller Center to where I live on 42nd and 11th Avenue. So as I'm walking home to my apartment in the city, I'm walking along 42nd Street, 8th Ave, 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue, 7th and 8th Avenue. I live between 10th and 11th. There's a theater and a diner. I believe it's between 9th and 10th. I don't know what kind of theater it is. Well, anyway, as I'm walking and I'm not feeling good, all of a sudden, I see a black Cadillac Escalade, I believe it was. Cadillac Escalade black. I hear somebody yell out to me through the window, hey, Mitch, come on, Mitch, I want to go, Mitch. So I'm saying to myself, who the fuck is calling me Mitch, So I woke up to the car, and in the back seat, on the driver's side in the back seat, I put my head in the window, and who do I see? It's James Gandolfini. My head is in the window. I look in the window. He goes, "You're not Mitch." I go, "Holy shit." Tony Soprano. He's like, "My name is James." I'm like, I was a big fan of the show. I'm not feeling too good. I just came back from the tree with my friends. I'm going home and I'm going to take a nap, but I can't believe that it's you. He's like, yeah, you're not Mitch. I'm like, all right, nice meeting you and everything. God bless you, whatever. He's like, you too, feel better, kid. Called me kid. I'm probably like he's a little older than me or whatever. Yeah, feel better, kid. Nothing exciting or anything, small talk. I didn't even feel good, so I was kind of like, so he's like, feel better, kid. And I said, okay, thank you, God bless you, whatever. And I'm like, walk away, and I'm walking towards my apartment. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I just met James Gandolfini. Just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I feel like I wanted to puke because I was so sick. And I'm just the whole way back to, the couple of blocks I gotta walk. And then it's funny when they open the door for you, I had a lot of celebrities that lived in the building too. A lot of professional baseball players, a lot of professional tennis players. There's one particular tennis player, I don't even remember his name, but we worked out in the gym together. Real tall guy, he was a professional tennis player. Who was an actor, who's an actress, who's a model. I lived with, all people that were rich, because I'll even tell you, I lived in a small studio apartment. You walked in, right? To the right was a nook kitchen. To the left was the bathroom, and then when you went straight in was the living area. It might have been 25 feet by 25 feet, one big open space. No walls or anything. A tiny box, if you think about it. What do you think I paid a month in rent? $2,500 a month rent. This is in 2008 to 2010. That's expensive, but you know what? I had a great time in the city. It was also at the peak of my drinking. It was great when you could walk home from work and just, you can drink and be home by 8:30 at night and get a great night's sleep and ready for work the next day. I really did love living there. But I couldn't believe I met James Gandolfini. Now, what it is I always wondered through the years why he called, like, who was Mitch. So I used to Google, like, Sopranos Mitch or Mitch Sopranos. Nothing will come up. I'm like, who the hell is this Mitch? So think about this. This is 2009. Fast forward 9 years later when I go to SopranoCon, and I have a video on my channel about SopranoCon, right? So for 9 years, I'm like, I never forgot that I met James Gandolfini. And I'm like, I wonder who Mitch is and why he called me Mitch, right? So at SopranoCon, I met all the, the actors. And none of the famous people, the big stars were there, But the actor Will Janowitz. And if you're watching this, Will, Finn, he was Finn, the character Finn. You were a funny dude. We had a good time. We were smoking, drinking, laughing. What a character. I made him laugh and everything. Like and subscribe to FGF Productions, Finn, Will Janowitz. So anyway, when I'm talking to Will Jan, I kept calling him Finn, which was funny because, he was getting mad like, I'm Will. I'm like, I can't. How do you I keep calling you Finn. We're drinking too and everything is hysterical, right? So I finally say to him, I say, Finn, Will. I said, can you help me out with something? He's like, yeah, sure. He's like, in 2009, believe it or not, I met James Gandolfini. He was in a black Cadillac Escalade when I was walking home to my apartment in the city. He's like, oh, wow, that must have been cool. I'm like, yeah, it was awesome, but I wasn't feeling good that day, and we really didn't have a big conversation. Nothing, I'm saying this to you. I wish I had, a better story, but it's just the fact that I met James Gandolfini is awesome. So I asked him, I said, let me ask you a question. Do you know a Mitch? Anything to do with Sopranos? A Mitch, right? So he goes, I don't know. You know what? Let me text Michael Imperioli. I'm like, you gonna text Michael Imperioli, Christopher? He's like, yeah. He's like, I was like, all right, He texts Michael Imperioli, right? And Michael Imperioli texts back to him that it's Mitch Burgess. It turns out that Mitch Burgess, he thought I was Mitch Burgess, who was one of the writers on The Sopranos. So after all those, you can't make this shit up. After all the years later, 9 years of like, who the fuck is Mitch? It was Mitch Burgess. He was a writer for Sopranos. So in this video, I'm going to put a picture of him in there. He does look like me a little bit. He had the beard and was stocky or whatever. I'm going to put it in the video so you can see that it's a true story, Mitch Burris. I think I Googled him before. I'm sure it'll come up. Well, anyway, just thought I'd like to share that. Every Monday will be my job stories. What I'm going to do is, episode 3, I'm just going to continue talking about the World Financial Center, how I settled in and now the next episode, how it's kind of gone to my head. So it'll be a funny episode when I drop it on Monday and everything. Everybody have a great night. All the best and all the serenity this world has to offer. I love everybody. And it's always from the heart, man. Everybody have a great night. I am FGF Productions. A little mellow tonight. I am a little tired now, I guess. Time to hit the hay. But everybody have a great night. Thanks for listening to the story. I think it's quite an interesting story that I met James Gandolfini. I think that was pretty cool. It's funny, when you live in the city or work in the city, you're going to come across that. I got hundreds. I'm going to make a list one day of who I've met and who I've talked to, who I've partied with. I'm going to share that too eventually. I already told you the Mike Tyson story. If anybody didn't see that one, my little altercation with Mike Tyson, that's a pretty funny story. All right, everybody have a great night. Sweet dreams, everybody. All the best and all the respect. I am FGF Productions. Good night, everybody.
travel down